Namaskara. Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha. Srimate Nigamanta Mahadeshikaya Namaha. Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Namassabhaye Sarvebhyaha Suswagatam. Welcome all of you to this 9th class on Hayagrivam Upasmahe. Let us start with the Dhyana Shlokas. Lakshminatha Samarambham Nathayamuna Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Srivatsavira Raghvisha Kripalabdhatma Jeevanam Atreya Gotrajam Vande Gurum Gopala Deshikam Shriman Venkatanatharya Kavitarkika Kesari Vedantacharya Varyo Me Sannidhattam Sada Hrudi Jnananandamayan Devam Nirmalaspatikakritim Adharam Sarvavidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe. So we have looked at the first 18 verses. We are now on the 19th verse. So we have been looking at the grace of Bhagavan Hayagriva. So we saw that when you experience that bliss of meditating on Hayagriva, so that bliss, that ananda comes out in the form of goosebumps, it comes out in the form of tears of joy. And also it helps you to cross over the Maya, right? So those are the benefits that we saw of doing dhyana meditation on Bhagavan. So we are continuing with that experience. Okay, so Swami Deshika is continuing with various experiences with respect to how we meditate on Bhagavan Hayagriva, and we'll take a look at some of those things. So 19th verse. Prag nirmitanam tapasam vipakaha pratyagra nishreyasa sampado me samedhi shiran stava pada padme sankalpa chintamanayah pranamaha. Prag nirmitanam tapasam vipakaha pratyagra nishreyasa sampado me samedhi shiran stava pada padme sankalpa chintamanayah pranamaha. So let us look at the pada vibhaga. Prang nirmitanam tapasam vipakaha pratyagra nishreyasa sampadaha me samedhi shiran tava pada padme sankalpa chintamanayah pranamaha. So prang nirmitanam, that word comes as it is. Tapasam, again single word. Vipakaha. Pratyagra nishreyasa sampadaha, again one compound word. Sampadaha me samedhi shiran tava. Samedhi shiran stava is split into samedhi shiran tava. Pada padme sankalpa chintamanayah pranamaha. That's the pada vibhaga. Let's look at the anvaya, the word order, prose order. Prag nirmitana. It's an internal sandhi there. So prag nirmitana. So prag nirmitana tapasam vipakaha pratyagra nishreyasa sampadaha sankalpa chintamanayah tava pada padme me pranamaha samedhi shiran. Prag nirmitanam tapasam vipakaha pratyagra nishreyasa sampadaha sankalpa chintamanayah tava pada padme me pranamaha samedhi shiran. So as we can see, the core part here, the main thing that we're looking at is tava pada padme me pranamaha samedhi shiran. Samedhi shiran is the verb. So let it grow. So samedhi shiran is something that has to grow. What is it that has to grow? Me pranamaha samedhi shiran. Let my pranama, my salutations to you, my surrender to you, let that grow. So where do I surrender? Tava pada padme me pranamaha samedhi shiran. At your lotus feet, let my prostrations, let my namaskara, let that grow. Let me keep on doing namaskara to you. So and how does that namaskara look like? What is that namaskara? I know what is the characteristic of that namaskara. So that is what is described by the other three phrases here. Prang nirmitanam tapasam vipakaha Pratyagra Nishreyasa Sampadaha, Sankalpa Chintamanayaha. All these three go as adjectives to describe the pranamaha. So we'll take a look at that when we look at the word by word meaning next. Okay. So coming to the padartha, pratipadartha, word by word meaning. So prak nirmitana tapasa vipakaha. We said, right? So prak nirmitana. Prak means before. Nirmita is performed or done. Okay, something which has been carried out before. So what has been carried out? This prak here refers to not just something just right before, but it refers to previous births. Carried out in the previous births. Prak in the previous births. Nirmitanam carried out. So carried out in the previous births. Tapasam vipakaha. Tapasam. Tapas refers to austerities. Right? All kinds of, whatever we do in terms of fasting or some japa, things that actually, where we kind of, stress our body to please the Lord. So tapasam vipakaha. So austerities. Vipakaha. So vipaka is something which is a result, which is a fruit. Okay, what is the result? So vipakaha here refers to the accrued results. That is, we have performed austerities in the previous birth. So it is the result of that, the austerities that have been carried out in the previous birth. So tapasam of the austerities, vipakaha result or fruit. The fruit of the activities of the austerities carried out in the previous births. Prag nirmitanam tapasam vipakaha. That's the first phrase. Pratyagra nishreyasa sampadaha. Okay. So pratyagra means new. Okay, nutana, something which is new. So pratyagra could mean, just which is going to come just immediately after or in the future. So pratyagra here therefore refers to something that's coming up new, which is coming up just in the immediate future. Immediate future or in the distant future. Pratyagra, nishreyasa sampadaha. So nishreyas refers to liberation, moksha. So shreyas itself is welfare, right? Nishreyas is nitaram shreyas. It is the best welfare that you can think of. What more welfare do we need rather than salvation or moksha? So nishreyas refers to moksha. Sampat is the wealth. So what is the wealth that we are looking here? Moksha itself is the wealth. So we are looking at the wealth of moksha that will be obtained just immediately after or in the future. Okay, so pratyagra nishreyasa sampadaha. Sankalpa chintamanayaha. So next word, sankalpa chintamanayaha. So sankalpa is our ichcha, is our desire, right? So we are thinking of something, we desire something. So the sankalpa chintamanayaha. So whatever wish we have, sankalpa is therefore a wish. So whatever wish we have, it's like a chintamani. So chintamani, just like in our tradition, we have these wish-granting entities, right? So we talk about kalpakataru. That's what we saw in one of the previous verses. So kalpakataru is a tree which can give us whatever we desire. Similarly, chintamani is another, so divine jewel. It's a money, it's a jewel. So this chintamani, so it means chinta, if you think of something, if you think about it, whatever you think about, this money is capable of granting it to you. So it's a chintamani. Okay, and what is a chintamani? It's a sankalpa chintamani. So whatever wish I have, it's something which can grant it. Okay, so sankalpa chintamanayaha. Tava at your pada padme, lotus feet. Pada is feet, padma is lotus. At your lotus feet, my pranamaha, my pranama, my salutations, my prostrations, my reverential prostrations, or my surrender. At your lotus feet, samedhi shiran, let it grow, let it increase abundantly. Okay, so edha itself is grow, is increase. Samedhi shiran, so it is nicely, it has to grow, so it has to increase abundantly. So what should increase abundantly? Pranamaha samedhi shiran, let my surrender to you, let it grow. Let my pranama, let me do pranama to you again and again. Bhuyo bhuyo namamyaham, we say it again and again, let me do pranama to you. So at your lotus feet, let my surrender grow. And what does this pranama look like? What is it? How do I describe that pranama? That pranama has these three phrases describing it. So it is, this pranama itself is a result of the punya karma, of the austerities that I have carried out in the previous births. So due to the austerities I have tapas that I have done in my previous birth, some I I have accumulated some punya. It is a result of that punya that I am able to do pranama at your feet. So that is one thing. So pratyagra nishreyasa sampat. Also, this pranama is something which is capable of giving me the wealth of moksha. So it's capable of granting moksha to me. Okay, that is one thing. Similarly, it is also a sankalpa chintamani. That pranama itself. Not normally we say Bhagavan's lotus feet is like a chintamani. So here we are saying that the surrender itself is like chintamani. So that pranama itself is something which is capable of granting any wish that I have in the immediate, in the present or in the future. And so this kind of pranama, let it grow. So we are praying to Bhagavan so that I can keep doing pranama to him. Right? So that's the idea in this shloka. Okay. Let's look at the bhavartha now. Okay. So as we can see, this verse refers to obtaining moksha. Okay. So moksha normally is our ultimate goal. So which is why it's called nishreyasa. Okay. So it is the ultimate shreyas, ultimate welfare that you can have. So the ultimate goal of moksha. So that is what we're looking at here. So not only is it just talking about obtaining moksha, it is talking about the path to that goal. So what is the path to that goal? Pranama, prapatti, surrender. Okay, you can look at it as prapatti. Surrender is the path to that goal. And it's also describing the steps which lead to that. Right? So that I should have, the very fact that he's talking about the result of the good deeds that I have carried out in my previous birth. So that is what is this pranama. So that I'm able to think of doing pranama to you itself comes only because of something that I have done in the past. Okay. So there are some steps which are leading to this pranama. So this shloka therefore talks about your ultimate goal, which is moksha, the path to that goal, which is pranama, and the steps which lead to that particular pranama. Okay. And we are saying that even for that, we need his grace. For everything, definitely it cannot happen without his grace. So prayer is for his grace, for our pranama to continue, for our surrender, for our prostrations to continue. That is the idea here. So in the previous verse, in the 18th verse, actually we had talked about the benefit of being able to cross over the maya, the prapancha, right? This maya that we have. So we said that with the help of Bhagavan's grace, we are able to cross over this samsara sagara, right? The prapancha we cross over. So the question is, so that happens due to Bhagavan's grace. Fine. So is there anything that we need to do at all? Is there something that I need to do on my part, or I just keep quiet and Bhagavan will come and save me? So this shloka is an answer to that. He says, no, you have to do something. What is it that we have to do? We have to do pranama. So pranama, I just need to surrender to Bhagavan. I need to keep doing pranama to him. If I do the pranama, that automatically leads to moksha. So that's the idea that's being conveyed over here. Okay. So let's look at the meaning. So it is a result of my past deeds. So the punya that has been accrued due to various penance and austerities that I have carried out in my previous births. Okay. It is only because of those deeds that I even have the desire for moksha in this birth. So the desire that I have, that I would like to get moksha, that desire itself comes only because of the punya that has been carried out in my previous births. I have done some good deeds. I have done some tapas. And it is that tapasam vipakaha, the result or the fruit of that tapas, that I have at least this desire to do pranama. Okay. So it is that punya that makes me fall at your feet. So that pranama is related to this. And what is this prostration or surrender at your lotus feet capable of doing? It is the cause for the liberation that I will get immediately or at the end of this birth. So again, it depends on what we call as a tvara, right? The eagerness with which you want to get that surrender, you want to get the moksha. If I want sadhya, I want moksha immediately, Bhagavan will give you that moksha immediately. If you say, no, at the end of this birth, I would like to get moksha, this surrender is capable of giving that also to you. Okay. So for surrendering at Bhagavan's lotus feet is what we need to do, right? So that's what he's saying here. So, and we said it is like this sankalpa chintamani, right? So like the wish granting gem, chintamani, that will immediately give you whatever is desired. Okay, so thus, as we can see, there are three things that I mentioned here, right? The three different adjectives or phrases that we talked about. We can see that they are related to the past, present, and future. Okay, so surrender at your lotus feet, Hey Bhagavan, is connected to the past, present, and future. That is, it is due to my past deeds that I am able to do pranama. Okay, and my pranama, when I do the pranama here, This pranama itself is like a sankalpa chintamani. So it can give me whatever I wish. So immediately, right? Presently, if I desire something, it's capable of giving me that. It's also capable of giving me something in the future. Right? Similarly, it's also capable of giving me moksha. So which I can say is something that's going to happen at the end of this birth, in the future. So past, present, and future, all are taken care of, are all connected with this pranama, with the prostration at your feet. And let that pranama, let that samedhi shiran, my pranama, let my prostrations at your feet, let this namaskara that I'm doing at your feet, let it grow. Let it keep growing endlessly. So, hey Bhagwan, we're praying to you that you should bless me so. Bless me so that I'm able to continuously do pranama at your feet so that I get moksha. So that's the idea that is described here. Okay, so pranama, that's the importance of pranama, and the beauty of how pranama can give us everything is the core idea that is described over here. Okay, so there are actually that pranama is what is required, is something that we see in most of our Puranas. In Srimad Bhagavatam, you will see that. In Vishnu Puranam, you will see that. Everywhere we talk about doing pranama to Bhagavan. That should take care of everything, right? So that's something that is repeated again and again in most of our scriptures, and that is what we are seeing here also. Okay, so I just like to look at one or two very well related quotations that have been described in the Vyakyanas. So in Vishnu Purana, right? So this happens in Vishnu Purana when the before Amrita Mathana, that is before the Devas and the Asuras, they churned the ocean to get Amrita, right? Before that, Indra and the Devas, along with Brahma, they go to Bhagavan, they go to Mahavishnu and pray to him, to get his blessings, right? So at that time, there is a verse which talks about how this pranama can give you, can take care of everything, right? How Bhagavan's grace can take care of everything. So there is this shloka which says, Tavadartihi tatha vancha, tavan mohas tatha sukham, tatha asukham. Yavanna yati sharanam tvam ashesha aghanashanam. Yavanna yati sharanam. As long as one does not do surrender to you, okay? And surrender to you. And you, tvam ashesha aghanashanam. And how are you? What are you like? You are ashesha aghanashana. All our sins, all our obstacles, you can completely remove them. So you are the one who are the remover of all our obstacles and sins. So as long as I have not done that surrender to you, I have arti, I have afflictions, I have vancha, I have desire, I have moha, I have infatuation, I have asukham, I have dukkham, I have sorrow. All these things are there only as long as I have not surrendered to you. The moment I surrender to you, all these are removed. My arti, right? That arti is any affliction, any afflictions I have, any obstacles I have, any desires I have, other desires, other infatuations that I have, whatever sorrow which comes out of all that happens only as long as I have not surrendered to you. Once I surrender to you, it's capable of removing all my afflictions. So that is again what is being mentioned over here as well. So this is one very close quotation that we see in our Vyakhyana for the shloka. And similarly, as we said, this pranama, right? This pranama is something which is connected to past, present, and future, right? So it destroys the sins of the past, present, and future, we can say. So here again, from Shishupala in the first sarga itself, Krishna praises Narada in this manner. Okay, so when Narada visits Krishna, Krishna praises Narada. So he says, seeing sages like Narada itself is something which destroys sins of past, present, and future. That's similar, that past, present, and future being linked to pranama. So past, present, and future there is linked to the darshana of sages. Okay, that is something we see. So there's a shloka there which says, Harati agham samprati hetuhu eshyataha shubhasya purvacharitaihi kritam shubhaihi sharira bhajam bhavadiya darshanam vyanakti kala tritayepi yogyatam. Kala tritayepi, in all the three kala, there is past, present, and future, bhavadiya darshanam, the darshana of holy sages, of sages who are like Narada, right? So kala tritayepi Sharira bhajam yogyatam yanati. It gives them yogyata. It gives them all welfare. Okay. So what all does it do? Harati agham samprati. Presently it destroys all the sins. Hetuhu eshyataha shubhasya. So and it is the cause for whatever shubha, whatever good things are going to happen to you in future. Purva charitaihi shubhaihi kritam. So and it is also a result of whatever good deeds you have done in the past. So because of the good deeds you've done in the past, you're able to have the darshan of the sages. And the moment you have the darshan of the sages, it removes all your current sins. And it also becomes the cause for whatever good things are going to happen to you in future. So similarly, the pranama, right? That past, present, and future. So that connection, right? Similarly, pranama, the desire for pranama itself is coming only because of the good deeds I've done in the past. And it is capable of giving me whatever I require in the present, right? So it will remove my sins in the present and capable of giving me nishreyasa, moksha in the future. So this is the way pranama will work for us. Pranama is something that's going to benefit us. So, hey Hayagriva Bhagavan, let this pranama keep increasing for me. I need your grace for that. So that's the prayer that we have here. Okay, just repeat that before. Okay, so let us do the surrender. Let's read this shloka again. Prang nirmitanam tapasam vipakaha pratyagra nishreyasa sampado me samedhishiran stava pada padme sankalpa chintamanayah pranamaha. Let us go to the next verse, 20th shloka. विलुप्तमूर्धन्यलिपिक्रमाणां सुरेन्द्रचूडापदलालितानां त्वदङ्घ्रिराजीवरजः कणानां भूयान् प्रसादो मयि नाथ भूयात्. विलुप्तमूर्धन्यलिपिक्रमाणां सुरेन्द्रचूडापदलालितानां त्वदङ्घ्रिराजीवरजः कणानां भूयान् प्रसादो मयि नाथ भूयात्. There is another patha where instead of Natha we have Mayi Deva Bhuyat. Natha Bhuyat seems to be the more popular one. So okay. So the Padavi Bhaga for this. Excuse me. Vilupta Murdhanya Lipikramana. That first pada, it's a big one single compound word. Vilupta Murdhanya Lipikramana. Surendra Chudapada Lalitanam. That again is one single compound word. Twadangri Rajiva Rajakkanana. Another compound word. So Twadangri Rajiva Rajakkanana. Bhuyan Prasadaha Mayi Natha Bhuyat. So Prasado becomes Prasadaha. That's the only proper sandhi that we have over here. All the other words, they come as such. This is a Padavi Bhaga. So let's look at the Anvaya first. So the prose order for this, He Natha. He Natha. Vilupta Murdhanya Lipikramana Surendra Chudapada Lalitana Twadangri Rajiva Rajakkanana Bhuyan Prasadaha Mayi Bhuyat. It's almost in prose order, just that we moved the Natha, the He Natha to the front. Otherwise, it's almost in prose order, this particular shloka. So the, again, key phrase that we have here is Bhuyan Prasadaha Mayi Bhuyat. Prasadaha Bhuyat. Okay. Prasadaha, your prasada, your grace, your anugraha. Okay, I need your grace. Bhuyat, let it be, let it happen to me. I need your grace. Bhuyan Prasadaha Mayi Bhuyat. And what is that prasada, that grace? Bhuyan Prasada. It's a magnificent prasada, okay, or a magnanimous prasada. That grace has to Mayi, to me, in me, let that grace be showered on me. Okay, that's the idea here. So what grace are we talking about? So that is what is described in these three other phrases here. Again, Twadangri Rajiva Rajakkananam Prasadaha. That's the main part. And the other two phrases describe the Twadangri Rajiva Rajakkanana. So since they are large phrases, we look at the word by word meaning to understand what is being said over here. So there's some questions, I missed it. Okay, there's a question on the previous. Okay, I'll take it at the end. I think it'll be easier. Okay. Right, so let's look at the word by word meaning for the shloka. Natha, hey Deva, hey O Master. Vilupta Murdhanya Lipikramana. Okay. Vilupta is something that has been erased. Okay. Murdhanya, related to the Murdha. Murdha is head. So something related to the head. Lipi is writing, script. Okay. Kramana, the sequence. So whatever has been written on my head. So we talk about our head, our fate being written on our head, right? So we talk about as so the script that is written, lipi, the lipi that is there on our forehead. Lalata likita rekha, we say that, right? So it's something written on my forehead. So we say that when we are born, right? We come with what our fate is. Something has been written for us that I'm going to be so and so. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be poor. I'm going to be rich. Whatever has been written, right? So that Murdhanya Lipi, it's in a sequence. It has been written. Whatever has to happen has been already written. So we are talking about something which can Vilupta Murdhanya Lipi Kramana, which is capable of erasing that script that is written on our forehead. Vilupta, it's already erased. Okay, so it is erasing the sequence, erasing the script that has been written on our forehead. So Vilupta Murdhanya Lipi Kramana. So that's the first part. Second is Surendra Chudapada Lalitana. Sura Indra Chudapada Lalitana. So Sura Devas, Indra is the leader or head of the Devas. So Surendra typically is said to refer to Brahma also. Okay. So Brahma and other Devas. So the Surendra is interpreted as Brahma and other Devas. Surendra. Chudapada. So Chudapada, Chuda is crown or head ornament. Chudapada refers to head. So Surendra Chudapada. So Devas, Devas Chudapada. So the heads of the Devas. Lalitana. So Lalanam is kind of celebrating it, right? So you pet it, celebrate it. So by the Brahma and other Devas, something is born on their head and it is celebrated by keeping it on their head. Okay, so what is that? Tvad Angri Rajiva Rajah Kanana. So Tvat, your Angri. Angri is feet. Rajiva, lotus. Rajaha is dust. Kana is specks of dust or particles. Okay, that is Kana. So Tvad Angri Rajiva Rajah Kanana. So we're talking about of the specks of dust on your lotus feet. So Tvad Angri, Tava Angri, your feet. And what kind of feet? They are Rajiva Angri. They are lotus feet. Okay. So lotus feet. On that lotus feet, you have Rajaha. So Rajaha refers to two things. We talk about dust. Rajaha refers to dust. Rajaha also refers to the pollen that can be on a flower. So Rajiva Rajaha would refer to the pollen of the lotus. So here the lotus is nothing but the feet of the Lord. So the Rajaha here refers to the dust that is there on the feet of the Lord. Okay. So the Rajah Kanaha, and we are talking about Kana, small specks of that particular Rajas, that dust. So let the specks of the pollen of your lotus feet, of that specks, okay, the grace of those dust of your lotus feet, let that be on me. So that is the beautiful thing that he is asking for over here. So Mai Prasadaha Bhuya. Prasadaha means grace, let it be on me. So grace of what? Grace of the specks of the pollen of your lotus feet, let that be on me. Let it be on me. So that's what is being asked for over here. And this specks of pollen of your lotus feet, right? So that dust of your lotus feet is capable of erasing my lalata likita rekha, the script that has been written on my forehead. So it has erased all that. So it can make me start on a clean slate, right? So it can remove all my whatever has been done to me previously, and it allows me to start on a clean state. And it is so beneficial, it is so important that Brahma and other devas, they understand that, they realize it, and which is why they are always celebrating it by bearing it on their heads. So which means they are constantly doing namaskara to you. And when they do the namaskara, the pollen of your lotus feet, which is the dust of your lotus feet, that is carried on their heads. So that your specks of your dust of your lotus feet, of the dust of your lotus feet, which is carried by Brahma and other devas on their head and celebrated by them, which can erase whatever past deeds that I have, right? It can erase whatever scripts have been written on my head. Let the grace of those feet be on me continuously. That's the prayer in this shloka. Okay, so that's the word by word meaning. Let us look at the bhava. Okay. So the bhavartha here is that, yeah, so in the previous, the connection with the previous shloka, we can look at that first. So we did pranama there. So we prostrated at his feet. So having prostrated at his feet, now when you do a prostration, or obviously what is it that you're going to see immediately? You're seeing his feet, Bhagavan's feet. So you're prostrating at his lotus feet, and immediately what do you see over there? You see that you have that pollen dust of Bhagavan's lotus feet there, and you say, let that pollen be continuously on my head, because that has so much of, it has such a great capability. It can change my fate. So let that continuously be on my head. That's the prayer here. So you are starting with He Deva or He Nata, O Bhagavan. So let me have the grace of the dust of your feet in abundance. Okay, so you can see this Bhuyan Prasado Mayinata Bhuyat. So there's also this play with words here, right? So Bhuyat is let it be, and Bhuyan Prasadaha. So the abundant grace, right? So let that abundant grace be of your feet, let it be on me. So when I prostrate at your lotus feet, the pollen of the lotus is deposited on my head. It happens naturally. So the moment it is deposited on my head, it's capable of changing my fate, which has been written on my head by Bhagavan Brahma, right? So Brahma has written something, so it's capable of erasing what has been written over there. So the dust of your feet can wipe it clean so that I can start on a clean state. So I will not be affected by my past deeds. Everything has been removed, right? Whatever sins I have, whatever obstacles I have all been removed. So only the good things will remain, right? So it's capable of doing that to me. So once that happens, naturally, I can continue to do pranama at your lotus feet. So even Brahma and the Devas, they revere you and they lovingly receive this pollen dust by decorating their headlocks or their crowns with it. So when you say Chudapada, Lalitanam, right? So not only just their, so Chudapada could refer to not just the head, then decorating their head with it, their whatever they have on their head, right? The crowns or whatever they have, that they're decorating it with this pollen dust. That means they're constantly doing namaskara to you. So they're getting your grace because they understand that constantly bowing down at your feet will also change their lot for the better. Okay? So their status also will be improved by doing this pranama. So therefore, we need to do this pranama to lotus feet. So, and then what is very interesting here is, we are not even looking at your feet being the one that is changing my fate, or which is capable of giving me this kind of a grace, right? So not just your feet, just even the dust of your feet is enough. I don't even need your feet as it. The dust of your feet is enough to liberate me. So let that dust of your feet always be there on my head. So which means I should continuously be doing pranama to you. So it's a continuation of that previous verse where we are looking at it. And the benefits of that are beautifully pointed out over here. Okay. So that's the beauty of this particular verse. This verse actually has a lot of similarity with some of the verses which we have in Paduka Sahasram, which is again by Swami Deshika. So in Paduka Sahasram, Swami Deshika describes describes the puja that is done to the Paduka of Bhagavan, of Ranganatha. So there he talks about, just the Paduka. The Paduka, he says, when you do pranama to the Paduka has the power to change the fate. Okay, he says just because it has connection with your feet. So similarly, we are looking at it over here, right? We are saying the dust on your feet, because it is connected to your feet, has this capability of changing my fate. So anything that is just connected to Bhagavan's lotus feet is capable of giving that grace on us, giving that benefit for us. So just hold on to his feet anything that has to do with lotus feet, and that will take us to liberation. That's the idea being conveyed over here. Okay. So that's the beauty of the shloka. So let me repeat the shloka once more. Vilukta murdhanya lipikramanam surendra chuda padalalitanam twadangri rajiva rajahkananam bhuyan prasado mainath bhuyat. Difference between bhuyan and bhuyat. Bhuyat here is the verb. It says, let it be, let this happen to me. Bhuyan is many, is lots. So bhuyan prasadaha. So bhuyan is an adjective for prasadaha. Bhuyat is the verb. That was a question that was asked in the chat, so I just answered that. Okay. So let us go to the next shloka. परिस्फुरन्नूपुरचित्रभानुप्रकाशनिर्धूततमोऽनुषङ्गाम् पदद्वयीं ते परिचिन्महेन्तः प्रबोधराजीवविभातसन्ध्याम् परिस्फुरन्नूपुरचित्रभानुप्रकाशनिर्धूततमोऽनुषङ्गाम् पदद्वयीं ते परिचिन्महेन्तः प्रबोधराजीवविभातसन्ध्याम्. The pada vibhaga for this, the first two padas, they come together as one single big phrase. Okay? Parispuran nupura chitrabhanu prakasha nirdhuta tamonushangam. One single phrase, one single compound word. Okay? Padadvayim te parichinmahe antaha. So this parichinmahe antaha is split into parichinmahe antaha. And the last one again is a single word, compound word. Prabodha Rajiva Vibhata Sandhyam. Prabodha Rajiva Vibhata Sandhyam. Parispuran Nupura Chitrabhanu Prakasha Nirdhuta Tamonushangam Padadvayim Te Parichinmahe Antaha Prabodha Rajiva Vibhata Sandhyam. The prose order for this, the Anvaya, you can see it will be very simple because the number of words we have itself are very less, right? Because we have big words in this particular verse. So the Anvaya goes like this. Parispuran Nupura Chitrabhanu Prakasha Nirdhuta Tamonushangam Prabodha Rajiva Vibhata Sandhyam Te Padadvayim Antaha Parichinmahe. Okay. Te padadvayim antaha parichinmahe. That's the core part. Parichinmahe, that's the verb. So parichinmahe, we'll keep thinking about it. We keep doing, we keep meditating on it. Sada, we'll keep doing chinta, thinking about it. So what are we going to think about? Te padadvayim parichinmahe. Padadvayim, your 2 feet, your lotus feet that we talked about, right? So that 2 lotus feet is what we will continuously think about in our hearts. Antaha. In our hearts, we will think about it. So that padadvayim. So what are those 2 feet like, right? So these 2 words describe that. Parispuran nupura chitrabhanu prakasha nirdhuta tamonushangam padadvayim. Similarly, prabodha rajiva vibhata sandhyam te padadvayim. So this kind of padadvayim, the 2 feet, antaha parichinmahe, we think about it in our hearts. Parichinmahe, let us keep on thinking about it in our hearts. So let's look at the word by word meaning. Only then we'll understand the 2 big phrases that we have. Parispurat nupura chitrabhanu prakasha nirdhuta tamaha anushangam. So we need to understand each word so that we can, when we put together, we'll understand what exactly is being conveyed over here. Parispurat. So spurati itself means something which is sparkling, right? Which is bright. Okay. So parispurati is something which is sparkling all around. It's parispurati. Nupura chitrabhanu. Nupura. So nupura refers to the anklets. So having prostrated at his feet, right? So you're looking at immediately what is connected, what is it that you immediately see on the feet of Bhagavan? The anklets that he's wearing. So the anklets. So Parispuratu Nupura. So the sparkling anklets, okay, on your feet. Those anklets, what is happening with respect to those anklets? Chitrabhanu Prakasha Nirdhuta Tamaha. So it's Chitrabhanu. So Chitrabhanu refers to Surya, sun. Okay. So Surya, Prakasha is light. Nirdhuta is removed. Tamaha is Ajnanam, darkness of nascence. And Anushanga is association. Okay, so these words separately, if you understand, then we can see how to put them together. Okay, so Parispurata is sparkling, Nupura is anklets, Chitrabhanu is Surya, sun, Prakasha, the light, Nirdhuta, removed, Tamaha, Ajnana or darkness, Anushanga, association. So you can see how we can put these words together, right? So obviously, Tamaha Anushanga, that is the association of darkness or association of the Ajnana. So that has to be Nirdhuta, it is removed. So Nirdhuta Tamo Anushanga. So the Tamaha Anushanga, the darkness of nations, is Nirdhuta. That whatever connection we have with Ajnana, that is removed, Nirdhuta. So it is removed. So if some darkness has to be removed, we need some light for it. So we have Chitra Bhanu Prakasha. Prakasha is light. So where is this light coming from? This light is coming from Chitra Bhanu, from sun. The sun's light is removing this darkness, right? Association with darkness. Now, what is the sun? Where is the sun? The sun is nothing but the Parispurata Nupara. It's nothing but the sparkling anklets which are there on Bhagavan's feet. So this Parispurata Nupara, so the anklets which are there, they are studded with gems, right? So since they have so many gems on them, there's a lot of rays of light that is coming out from them. It's like a multicolored light. So this Chitrabhanu has actually, there are two ways of interpreting it. So Chitrabhanu itself refers to sun. So that is, so that naturally, so directly you can say this Nupura is nothing, this Nupura itself is the sun. So from the sparkling anklets, which are the sun, the rays are coming out, the light rays are coming out. And that is capable of removing the darkness of Ajnana or Tamas. Okay. So another way of looking at it is, since you have this multicolored light, because there are so many gems, different colored gems are there. So different colored light is coming. Chitra refers to many colors. So Chitra Bhanu. So many colors of light are coming out from the Nupura, from the anklets. And that Prakasha. So that itself is like the Prakasha of the sun. So that removes Nirdhuta Tamaha. So that is capable of removing the darkness that is associated with our tamas, with the whatever Ajnana that we have, with whatever darkness that is there in our hearts, that can be removed. Okay? That is the meaning of this particular word, compound word. Okay. So it's capable of removing all your Ajnana. That's the first part. Second part is Prabodha Rajiva Vibhata Sandhya. So here again, the four words. Prabodha is awakening. Bodha, Prabodha, so awakening. Rajiva is lotus. Kamala, Rajivam, all these are synonyms. Rajiva is lotus. Vibhata is morning, early morning. Sandhya is the Sandhya always refers to the joining of day and night, right? So we have Vibhata Sandhya, Prata Sandhya, and there's Prata Sandhya refers to morning Sandhya. We have morning Sandhya and evening Sandhya, right? So here we're talking about Vibhata Sandhya, the morning Sandhya, right? So the Spadadvaim, your feet, what these feet are like, that is being described over here. These feet are like the Sandhya. They are like the Sandhya Kala. They are like the morning Sandhya. Now, dawn. So what is this dawn capable of doing? Dawn can awaken the lotus, right? So Prabodha Rajiva Vibhata Sandhya. So this this is what we say, that when as soon as night goes and morning comes, right? So at dawn we see that the lotus starts blooming, right? Lotus will start the vikasita, it starts blooming. So for the Rajiv, for the so normally this is what happens to whenever morning comes, you see that the lotus generally blooms. Now we are saying for the Prabodha Rajiva. So here Prabodha, the awakening, knowledge. So we're talking about knowledge being a person being looked at as a lotus. So for the lotus of knowledge, your pair of feet is like the Vibhata Sandhya. It is something which is capable of making it bloom. So the knowledge blooms. Right? So it is capable of giving me knowledge. So here, in the previous, this particular verse that we saw, right, we said that your anklets are capable of removing my ajnana. Right? So my ajnana is gone. So now what we are saying is, not only is the ajnana gone, but also my jnana is now going, I'm getting jnana. Ajnana goes is one part. Removing of darkness is one. Giving of light is another, right? So giving of the knowledge. So I get this knowledge. So this is like so your pair of feet are like, this pair of feet is like the dawn for the lotus of knowledge or the awakening that can happen in me. So this, your lotus feet, padadvayim, antaha, in the heart, okay? Parichinmahe, we will meditate. We constantly will meditate on it, okay? So in the previous verses, he says, I will do this, right? Here he says, Parichinmahe, we will meditate. So which means all of us. So not only Swami Deshika, he's including all of us, right? All of us will meditate on this pair of lotus feet, which is capable of removing our darkness and giving us knowledge. It can awaken the knowledge in us. So Prabodha Rajiva. So Prabodha itself is a Rajiva. So that Rajiva, that lotus is nothing but the lotus of awakening. For that lotus of awakening or knowledge, it is like the morning Sandhya, like the dawn. So it can make it bloom. That's the idea in the shloka. Let's look at the Bhavartha. So this shloka again is continuing to focus on praying to Bhagwan's feet. In fact, in the next shloka also will continue on focusing on Bhagwan's feet. Okay, so we saw that we talked about the removal of writing on our head by the dust, right? Of Bhagwan's the dust itself. We said it can change the writing on our head. So when it changes the writing on our head, what happens is that it will remove the darkness, give us prabodha, and give us the knowledge. So that part is what is being described in the shloka. So we will continuously meditate on your lotus feet, which is adorned with scintillating gem-studded anklets. So that parispuran nupura, right? Why is it parispuran? Why is it radiating? It's radiating because it is adorned with so many gems. It's a gem-studded anklet. So that multicolored lustre, which will radiate from these gems, that is akin to sunlight. Okay. So this light has the potency to remove the darkness of nescience that we are associated with. Okay. So just as the rising sun removes darkness, so also this lustre will remove all our ajnana. So not only will it remove ajnana, it also gives us the right jnana. So that's why I say Prabodha Rajiva Vibhata Sandhyam. So just as the dawn makes the lotus bloom, so also this dawn, right? This will awaken the lotus of knowledge or the mental lotus which is there in us. So meditating on your feet is important. It has a twin benefit. It removes ajnana and it gives you jnana. It provides the right knowledge. So not only does it remove, it also removes ajnana, removes the whatever delusions or confusions or whatever we have, and gives us the right knowledge, puts us on the right path. Okay. So we say that this is the basic benefit. Right? So it's ajnana nivritti purvaka jnana vikasaha. That's the way, that's how it is described. That is ajnana nivritti. So it removes your ajnana. And having removed the ajnana, it is giving you jnana vikasa. It is allowing your jnana, your knowledge to bloom. So we as jivatmas, right? So we are supposed to have knowledge, right? We are supposed to be, again, just as Paramatma is jnanamaya, jivatma is also supposed to be jnanamaya. But because of our association with the prakriti and because of all our karma that we have done, right? So our jnana has become sankuchita. Our jnana has become limited, right? So here we are saying, from that sankuchita state, from that limited state, let it bloom, let it go to the unlimited state, let it become totally jnanamaya. Right? So it has to bloom completely. So that is what happens when we bow at your feet. So your feet are capable of giving us that knowledge. Remove all the delusions, remove all the confusions that are caused by this prakriti sambandha. Right? So we have we are in this prakriti, we are in this world. So that is causing lots of confusions in us. So, but pranama and your lotus feet, that lotus feet is capable of removing that confusion and giving us the knowledge, giving us this, taking us from the Sankuchita Jnana state to the Vikasita Jnana state, from a limited state to an unlimited knowledge state. So that's what it is capable of doing. So that's that is the key part of this particular verse. Okay. And the Chitra Bhanu, okay, that's also a very interesting phrase that has been used over here. So Chitra Bhanu, as I said earlier, Chitra Bhanu itself has a direct meaning as sun. So Chitra Bhanu, Surya is something which we have in Amarakosha. It says that as a synonym for sun. Chitra Bhanu is a synonym for sun. That is one thing. Now here, what we are looking at is this Nupura Chitra Bhanu. When you associate with the Nupura, so Nupura Chitra Bhanu. So here you can interpret it as, we already talked about it when I was looking at the word by word meaning, but I just reiterate that. So since it is associated with the Nupura, since it is associated with the anklet, and there are many colored gems on that, this Chitra Bhanu. So you have Chitra, many colored, multicolored. Bhanu. Bhanu again refers to rays of light also. So Chitra Bhanu refers to multicolored rays of light. So the Chitra Bhanu itself now becomes like the Surya. So multicolored rays of light emanating from the Surya. So the multicolored light again is, see, we always say that, right? There's so many colors that are there in light when you talk about light rays. So this multicolored light is coming from this, from the Nupura, from the gems that are studded on the anklet, and that is causing all the ajnana, all the darkness to be removed. So that's another very beautiful, play of words again that Swami Deshika does. You can see that everywhere there are so many beautiful, choice of words that he uses, and the deep meaning that are conveyed by some of these words. So that is something that we have to experience. So that anubhava is something that we should have. So whatever little bit we are trying to look at that. So that's the meaning of the shloka. Is it like a rainbow? You can look at it as a rainbow because it has multicolored, lights, rays coming out of it. Not just, rainbow is one way of looking at it, but multicolored. It could be any set of colors that are coming out. Basically, we're looking at that prakasha. So it is bright, right? And multicolored, bright light coming out. So that light is capable of removing. Questions are, okay. There was one question on. There's a question on our sankalpa is moksha. This is, I think, with respect to the first verse. Our sankalpa is moksha. Our pranama is the chintamani, which grants or sankalpa. Is this correct? I'm not getting the question correctly. Our sankalpa is moksha. Anyway, I can just explain that particular verse again, perhaps. That may clear the doubt that has come up. Let me just go to that 19th verse. Oh no, 19th, right? So here we said pranamaha, the namaskar, the pranamaha should grow. So pranamaha described as prang nirmitanam tapasam vipakaha. So it's a result of what we have done in the previous birth. And pratyega nishreyasa sampada. It's capable of granting moksha to us. And it is like a sankalpa chintamani. So it is capable of granting whatever wishes we have. Okay, so the three different phrases, which I think kind of connect these, which are all related to pranama. So sankalpa chintamani is, that sankalpa can be anything. Sankalpa can also be moksha. Okay, so if that was the question, I think that was kind of the question that was asked. So sankalpa can also be moksha. Okay, and we are doing pranama. So that pranama itself is like a chintamani, which can grant whatever we want. And it is definitely capable of giving us moksha. So you can almost say whether or not you are, because see, the whole idea is desire for moksha has come into me, okay, as a result of whatever I've done in the previous births. So it's capable of granting that moksha. So that's the meaning of this particular shloka. Nirdhuta refers to removal. Okay, the grammar part I'll give it in the WhatsApp group. Okay, any other questions? Let me just check that. Yeah, there are no other questions. I thought somebody raised their hand. Yeah. Somebody raised their hands. Yeah,
Yes.
Sudarshanam. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I have. Yeah, please unmute and speak.
When we talk about the good deeds done in the previous birth, we are not sure whether my previous birth was a human being to have born not a Brahmin, or I might have been, like in Yajnas they say, the Yajna Pasu which has been given, it goes to Moksha or Swarga directly. Then what Jivan I had, or what Sarira I had in the previous birth, that made me to do some punya and become now a Brahmin.
I don't think it matters. See, all he's saying is, I have done pranama. I have done some good deeds in the past. That good deeds could have been as part of any birth that I could have taken. Because Bhagwan gives, Bhagwan can give moksha to. Yes, it can be any birth that I have taken, right? Because Bhagwan can grant moksha to anyone. We already saw that in one of the previous verses, right? That he's looking at any jiva. It's a jivatma. Okay, so we said you can look at Gajendra, how he has given moksha to Gajendra. So I don't think that matters. We are jivatma, that's all. So it absolutely does not even matter as to what we are born now. Even now, if I have this this tendency to think of Bhagavan and to do pranama to him, that is important, right? And that is what will lead me to moksha. So the constant meditation at his feet. That's not even dependent on what you are born or how you are born or where you are born. That whatever I am born as long as this chinta, this thought of pranama has come into my head, that pranama itself is capable. That has come only because I've done some good deeds. And that pranama is capable of taking me to moksha. And we are praying that let that pranama continuously be there. Let it increase. It is complete. Yeah, let me read that last shloka, then we'll complete. Parispurannu purachitrabhanu prakasha nirdhuta tamonushangam padadvaim te parichinmahentaha prabodha rajiva vibhata sandhyam. Kavitarkika simhaya kalyana gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha. Oh, I just have to give one logistic or administrative part. This is the 9th class. We missed one class in between 1 week. So as it was not well, we were not able to conduct that class. So we had scheduled initially for 10 classes, but I think we will need another 4 classes to complete it. So the schedule for that will be enabled so that you will be able to log in from the next class. So I just wanted to inform you all on that. Okay. Yeah. So thank you. Namaskar.